Thanks for joining us on the Sleighted Show. I'm Eric Casey.
I'm Sebastian.
And today on the show, we're going to talk about the new magic movie that just came out, Sleight.
As well as the new streaming service that Illusionist just released, which is basically the Netflix for magic.
Magic stream. And then I'm going to sit down with Sebastian for an interview.
I'm going to sit down with Eric for an interview.
And we're going to interview each other because we realized some of you guys who are watching the show may not know us, know anything.
Who we are.
Yeah, who we are.
What we do. So
let's get that out of the way.
Yeah, we probably should have done that a little bit sooner.
Episode 1, arguably.
Would have been a good start.
Yeah.
But we're going to get that out to you guys right now.
So Sleight the movie.
That looks good.
It looks pretty awesome. I mean,
even if you don't want to see the movie, the fact that another movie's coming out that's making magicians look cool.
Absolutely.
And this guy is a drug dealer from the hood who discovers that he has powers.
And then he does street magic, which looks awesome. He's doing like card through window, like classic effects that we all know and can do. So more people are going to see them, which then now we get to do it, and then we get to look like we have powers. So.
And that's not the same thing that there was with Now You See Me, where it's that incredibly unrealistic expectation of, why don't you rob a bank?
Yeah, jump off a building and turn into cash.
Yeah.
Like, oh, great.
But, if they tell us to throw a card through a window, you might actually be able to swing that one.
So that's pretty... And he's floating rings. I mean...
Doing all the classic.
Tarantula V2 just came out, so buy that, and then go watch Sleight, and then after the movie, destroy people's minds. Definitely do that. And then also support Eric Jones, because he was one of the consultants and a hand double on there.
So let's get him a sequel.
Yeah,
let's
absolutely.
do that.
Sleight 2, hopefully produced by Sleighted. Probably not going to be that big yet.
Oh, no, we'll be there.
Fingers crossed. Yes, so support magic. Go watch the movie. Hopefully we'll get another Sleight, another Prestige, or another Illusionist after this, which would be pretty awesome.
That's the dream.
So Magic Stream.
That is definitely going to be interesting. It just came out. It's a magic streaming service for magic. How much is it? $12.99?
It's like $12.99 a month.
For all of the magic, which we're going to include a list either on the screen or in the description.
Absurd.
That's the only word that I could really use to describe it. Excessive.
You could devote an hour to 2 hours a day on $12.99 and still not even hit half of what it looks like it's on there.
Yeah. And that's without practicing any of it.
Yeah, that would just be constant consumption and not being able to practice. Like it is well worth the price. $12.99 is an absolute steal for what I'm seeing on there.
Just one of those things is worth $12.99.
Yeah.
So
the anti-pharaoh explanations on there, and that is way more than $12.99. So you could 1 month just watch that and be like, nah,
you already got your money's worth.
Yeah, just like that. So I won't lie, when I heard about the Netflix for Magic, I was like, ugh, give me a break. Yeah. Like, come on, like we don't need
that.
Like,
we need this.
And then I looked at it and I went, I'm sold. Like I'm totally in. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. So you're not going to hear me say this often, but support Illusionist and do this. Like absolutely buy it. Like this is amazing. Like I'll always say support your local magic shop.
Support the brick and mortar.
Get the brick and mortars, but go ahead and support this as well. This is pretty dang cool.
No, this is really awesome.
It's the future of magic. So definitely check out Magic Stream
by Illusionist.
Yeah, good for them.
With that in mind, we're going to jump over to the interview where I'm going to ask Eric some pretty intense questions, and it's going to get pretty real.
And I'm going to ask Sebastian some pretty softball questions and make him look good.
I think that the main challenge is going to be taking this seriously because we know each other as well as we do.
Yeah.
Like, what were your early... Like, I was there when you were first getting
I saw it.
So it's going to be interesting. Ask some questions and be like, oh, no way, really? That happened?
Right.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so anyway, he was speaking Portuguese. He did the sponge balls. And I totally forgot about it for like 6 years. And then my mom actually recently brought it up. She's like, hey, remember that one time in Portugal we saw the magician? That was the first trick I ever saw. Didn't really have that big of an impact on my life.
Okay, yeah,
totally forgot.
Apparently so. What's the first trick you saw that was like, this is it? Like, I gotta do some magic.
It was actually much worse than sponge balls, which is the funny part for me.
Oh, boy.
It was, I can't even remember. It was like the trick that you learn when you Google free magic tricks, like before you get to key card.
The 2-card like transpo thing?
No, not like the one where I think that he palmed it and he just slapped it on top. Like he was like, this is your card. Slaps it and then turns it over again and it's a different card. And I'm in 2nd grade. The kid doesn't have big enough hands to palm, so it was just terrible all around. And I was like, bro, you gotta teach me how you did that. And he did, and I learned it, and it snowballed from there. So it was that, and he also had the key card. He showed me that.
Interesting. So he was showing you palming in 2nd grade.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I guess. I mean, I doubt that I did it well. I don't think anyone was fooled. They were like,
Still, at least you were trying. In second grade, I would never try and palm stuff. I wasn't doing magic in second grade, so...
Ignorance.
And
then after I learned that, I totally forgot about it and dropped out of magic for like 4 years just because...
Okay, what brought you back?
I did that trick at an extended family, a little get-together.
Okay.
Went down to Miami, visited some family, and we played poker because that's, you gotta indoctrinate the kids into
Don't
gambling young.
Look at me.
I'm here with you. So, we were playing poker, afterwards card just sitting on the table, and I decided, I'll do the trick. And everyone had been drinking, I suppose. I don't really know, because they freaked out like it was a David Blaine special. And here I am. It's been almost 10 years.
I feel like the "and here I am" just kind of glossed over a lot of history, though.
Yeah, no, there have been a couple of things.
There have
been a couple of things in between. We'll get to that. Are you interviewing me first, or are we switching?
We could duel it, I guess. You could ask me some questions if you want right now. Make it conversational.
I mean, that's what I was thinking. I mean, we were talking about like how I got into it. I was curious, like, what was the first trick that you ever saw?
Well, it's going to sound like I'm taking your story, but I'm not.
Okay.
So I was like 8 or maybe 7 or something.
Okay.
And
some undetermined young age.
I was very young and impressionable.
Mm-hmm.
And a magician by the name of Raphael down here in Orlando, who worked at...
No way. He was the first guy that ever showed you magic?
Yeah. No, he wasn't the first person that showed me magic. Sorry, first trick I ever saw was Forrest Hendricks, who is a missionary from not from Jacksonville. Well, I think he's from Jacksonville, but he's a missionary in Sweden. He was in Jacksonville and he performed for me. I saw that. Way too young. I misremembered all the tricks.
Right.
I think he put a mousetrap through a person's finger and didn't hurt him. I know that's the opposite of what happened.
I know that's not published now that I've looked into it.
I know that's not what happened at all. But I saw it when I was like 5. My brain didn't comprehend what was happening. So I don't count that really. Okay. So the first magic that really hooked me though was Raphael in Orlando at SeaWorld doing table hopping. And then he did sponge bunnies on me, and my brain shut down because it could not comprehend a possible method as to why there were so many bunnies in my hand. I just couldn't do it.
Why?
Yeah, so he then left our table and did some more table hopping, and I was just like an eagle, just following table to table until he finally went his back on the wall and took a break. I was like, thank God I don't have to deal with people anymore. And little kid me comes running up, and I'm like, oh, you're dealing with people.
Oh, you're talking to somebody.
You're dealing with me now. And so I just kept pestering him about how he did it. And he wouldn't tell me. I'm glad he didn't tell me. And he just wrote down 2 books and said, if you want to learn magic, get these 2 books. And it was Royal Road to Card Magic and Mark Wilson's Cyclopedia of Magic.
That's awesome.
So I got those books around 8 years old. And that was all I had until about 13 years old. And I just read those a ton. Didn't show anyone anything at all. Never performed. Just literally read and read and read. And I've read Royal Road 5 times now.
At what point would you say you made the jump from you were reading by yourself? At what point would you say you became serious about it?
And it wasn't until around 16 that I found our local IBM ring.
Gotcha.
And then I met the secretary, was Simone Marin. Still is the secretary. She has not left that position. And she was
Simone.
Yeah, and she was like, oh, in 2 weeks, Jay Sankey's coming to lecture. And I was like, lecture? What do you mean? And they come and teach. And I was like, what? Yeah. I was freaking out, so I had my dad take me. And
what was it, $100? $15?
Yeah.
What?
It made no sense. I go to the lecture. I show up at the lecture, and Jay's just, if you've ever seen Jay lecture, it's super fun. I've seen him a couple times now. He's so entertaining, and he's just constantly giving out free stuff. I walked out with 5 free DVDs in his book for free. He was just, here, take it. And I was like, all right. And it just game over for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, okay, you got all the Jay's material, you went to the lecture. So it was lecturing that really got you into the whole taking it seriously.
It was lecturing, it was the community, kind of understanding community.
I'm gonna go ahead and steal your story.
And I could show people stuff that I've worked on because I didn't have money to buy tricks. So
I've yet to meet a 12-year-old that does.
Yeah. So between 8 and 16, I had 2 books.
Right.
And one trick I did buy Daniel Garcia's Greed. Because that was pure magic. Still is, I won't lie. That's a great routine. That's amazing.
That's still a good investment. If you even add $30 or whatever for the one trick DVD, that's still worth the money.
It's amazing. So I had that, and then everything else would just be I'd watch a demo.
Right.
And then I'd say, I wonder how I can recreate that. So then I'd recreate it. Usually wrong.
Right.
But I could then do a new effect. And so I got to show people stuff that I was working on, which is fun because I was the youngest person there.
Right.
And so I just kind of showed up and was like, look at all these things. And everyone's like, what? Who are you?
That's the best thing about joining a magic club is that it's a bunch of older guys. It's not a whole bunch of 12-year-olds. We're not all running around joining magic clubs. So when a young kid walks in the room, oh my god, it's like, yes, okay, teach him as much magic as he can handle.
Shovel it down his throat, let's do this.
You like rubber bands? Here's some rubber band moves.
Yeah.
You like coins? Here's some books to get. Oh, you like magazines? I got 50,000 magazines in my closet. Here's some magazines.
I owned every edition of Magic Magazine for a while because of the local. They were just like, here's all of them. I was like, that's too much.
They got them 30 years ago. They don't want them anymore.
It was great.
Yeah.
So it was the community really sucked me in is when I saw people enjoyed the stuff that I was doing. Like, they liked it. And I was like,
right.
But it was like people I respected. I'm like, I like what you're doing though. And they're like, well, what you're doing is cool. And I was like, this is cool.
What? Are we friends? Did we just become friends?
So, and then I met you.
Right. At Daytona, baby.
Yeah.
Daytona.
I was 19 when I met you. You were 16?
Were you 19?
But enough about me.
Right.
Let's hear about you.
We'll get back to you.
We just said, so at 15, you were competing.
Right.
That's pretty young in my eyes to compete because I wasn't even a part of my magic community until 16.
Me taking magic seriously all started when my great-grandmother died. I went to, it wasn't a funeral, it was a celebration of life. I went to her wake, we all hung out, we were, telling fun stories about her, and I did magic because I was, doing that, hanging out, And it turns out that my great-grandmother's daughter's neighbor had an ex-husband who was president of the Boca IBM chapter.
Wow.
You can't make that up.
No, that'd be hard to.
Yeah.
Sure.
So she saw me do the stuff, and she's freaked out, thought it was awesome, and she called her ex-husband, which I thought was really weird at the time, and was like, "Hey, give him all the info that he needs." He emailed me the info to find the local IBM ring.
How old were you again? 12. So you said
12, 13.
That's awesome.
Right around there. So then I started going to the local meetings, and after I'd been going, after my third meeting, they told me, "Hey, by the way, next month we've got the Daytona Festival of Magic."
Yeah.
So they're like, "Oh, you should go." And I'm like, "Hell yeah, of course I'm going to go." So I went, and the first thing that I noticed when I went there is that they had the Florida State close-up contests. And I went there, I watched the first year, and I was like, I want to do that. Just thought it was the coolest thing. So the next year I made a decision. I had an entire year to work on my act. And I just put it together. I had my mom sew some stuff, and it was adorable. But
great.
I went in there, and I got no idea how it happened, but I actually ended up winning. So
you got first place the first time you did it?
Yeah. Wow. So that's how I got into competing, and then after that I did a couple of larger competitions. I never won anything. I got second place at IMX, second highest score at IMX, not second place. Got to be careful with the language there.
Second highest score is not second place?
They did not award a first place because they were judging based on FISM standard, yes, and no one got above an 80 or whatever it is. So
sticklers.
They are, man. They are. So there was a couple different things, which I was doing that for a while. I met a lot of people.
So competing, I guess, really influenced, would you say, like, your performance style, though? Is like being just forced to commit so much time to, like, a couple moves, and then now you're performing professionally. Like, how much has that competition act, I guess, made it to your real performance?
No, none of the stuff that I do for the competition act has made it into like the regular strolling repertoire. Like some of the coin work, because it was a coin routine that I was working on, most of the stuff that I do strolling is like cards and 3-card Monte, that sort of thing. Yeah. So none of it directly made the transition, but the way of practicing is incredibly useful, and having that goal in mind.
Yeah, it's the perfection.
Yeah.
This has to be flawless before I go and do it.
Yes.
For me, I saw Paul Cummins lecture after I saw Jay Sankey lecture.
Okay.
And Paul Cummins has the Fastu, which is from a shuffle deck in use.
Yes.
Which is why you now know me. I don't do memorized deck work. I don't do like gimmicked deck work. I don't do gimmicked deck work. I have that just innate thing in me because I was an impressionable kid.
Right.
That my deck has to be from a shuffle deck at any time. Like, I have to be able to perform with that.
I feel the same way. I'm not sure if that was Paul Cummins as much as you just being right about that. I think that you're just like... Because for me, I don't want to have my special deck of cards. I want to be at a bar.
I would say...
any deck.
I would say I'm not right about it. Paul is.
Right.
And Paul well, having that be my second lecture ever,
Right.
and then finding out he's from my city and he's a local magician in my city,
Right.
like, was just so influential for me to be like, I want to be like him. So now, Kostya influenced you at so young, where like Paul for me was just like, that's who I looked up to the most. So I got impressioned by that, and then I got even more so by Danny Day Ortiz. So I got both of those in the mix. In a matter of 3 months, I think I saw him perform 15 times. Yeah.
How?
It was pretty awesome. So I worked with Harry Allen at Daytona Magic.
Oh, you convention hopping.
So I worked with Harry Allen.
Let's talk about that. Yeah, so while you're working with Harry, one of the things that I know about him, so it's hard to segue in naturally, but while you're working with Harry, one of the things that you did is you jumped around quite a bit to different conventions.
Every convention.
Every convention.
Not every, but all the big conventions I got to go to for free.
That's awesome.
From 18 to 19 to a little of 20.
Damn.
And that's because I just went, I don't want to do college, I want to do magic.
Right.
Magic's for me. I lived in Jacksonville and commuted daily to Daytona. And then, it was I did 9 to 5 at Daytona, 40 hours a week, driving every day, there and back. It was horrible. I won't lie, it was so worth it.
Right.
Like, I don't regret a second of it. Like, I got to learn so much under Harry of how to present.
Right.
I think if anyone out there like wants to get good at magic, or not get good at magic, get good at presenting, work for a magic shop.
Right.
You are forced every day to perform. It's incredible.
Okay.
Like, you'll learn so much about yourself.
I can't argue with that.
Okay.
But I think that you being you helped.
Also,
just the way that you phrased that was very like, this is the one end all solution.
Yeah.
Like,
so that's not. It's like I went in with the mentality of like, this is my college.
Right.
What can I learn? How can I learn? What am I going to do? And so every day I was trying to improve myself, be better. And then finally, like 6 months in, Harry was like, Harry had been doing conventions often. Right. And then one day he was like, oh, you want to go to IMX in Las Vegas? And I was like, yes, I do want to do that. So I did IMX. I saw Danny perform there in a hallway. It's an amazing story.
Danny does that, man.
Yeah. I initially see Danny, and if you see Danny, you're like, on first sight, judge a book by its cover, not going to be great.
That's how he gets you, though.
Yeah. And then Danny just ruined me to nothing, and I was like, that's incredible. And at the close-up show, Danny was the closer, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
Right.
So I went on stage because they were picking random people to be on stage.
We were sitting next to each other on that show.
Yeah. Yeah, and I got up and was like, I'm going on stage.
I actually got picked, and I was like, hell yeah. And then you were like, no, I'm going with him. I'm not watching from back here.
I don't care. I'm going to sit next to Danny. And I did, and it was great. And as well at that convention, I met up with Greg Wilson for like the second time. And prior, I had shown him an effect I've been working on, and he really liked it. And then kind of went incommunicado because he's really busy releasing an effect a week. So I didn't hear from him.
As Greg does.
Yeah, so I didn't hear from him for a while. And then at that convention, I saw him. He pulled me to the side and said, hey, show this guy the trick you're working on. So I did it. And that guy was like, wow, is that for sale? And I was like, no, sorry, it's not. He's like, well, when it is, I want the first 1,000. I was like, it's for sale. What do you know? It is now.
Well, you just bought it.
Yeah, and it turns out that guy was Ajar, the owner of Penguin Magic.
Nice.
So
God, that is a phenomenal way to have that conversation.
Yeah. So within seconds of meeting Ajar, he bought 1,000 units of the poker test. So, and then I do this now. I also like rock climbing a lot.
Right. Cool.
That's Erik in a nutshell.
Cool.
It's
nice to finally meet you. I've heard so many great things. I've seen your video everywhere. I saw the one politician, he did the poker test.
Oh, yeah.
So, you're everywhere. It's great to finally, put a person to the face. Let's see, what did I do after IMX? After that, I kind of fell off the competition grid. I just started focusing on other things, started working with Kostya, doing restaurants and all that, so parlor. I didn't really have the means to perform anything that was on a table, so I had no reason to practice it, and all the stuff that I was doing was either up here or walk around without a table. So after that, I just started putting together a lecture. I presented that a couple times. I did it here at the local ring.
Did it up in Jacksonville.
Went up to Jacksonville. Shout out to you guys for having me. Over in West Palm, just around Florida, that whole vicinity. Now I'm just performing. I'm still working with Sea Magic Live, doing private events. Sleighted.
Sleighted, thank you.
Working
Say
this.
it's like.
Yeah,
you
man,
doing,
no,
huh?
this is
There it is.
pretty big deal. Other than that, man, just working on products. I'm going to be putting out my work with the shape change relatively soon, trying to condense all my thoughts into something that's coherent on that. So just keep your eyes peeled, guys, because we're just getting started. But we hope that this helped and you guys got to know us a little bit better.
Yeah, and with that being said, back to us.
Back to...
Thanks, guys, for tuning in to the Sleighted Show. I hope you guys enjoyed the interviews with me and Sebastian and get to know a little bit more about us. As always, coming up, we'll have some more videos popping up on YouTube and Facebook, so make sure you're subscribing and liking those pages so you get those notifications.
We're going to be putting out our deck reviews as always. We'll be releasing some of those. And this month, Ryan might actually be allowed to review Making the Cut.
As well, we're going to start doing some product reviews as their own segment, and we're going to have Josh Janowski join us on the product review team. So be on the lookout for that this month. And I think that's it.
I think we're done.
That is episode 5. I thank you for all the people who keep watching this. Write in the comments below why you keep watching so we can keep doing those things.
Let us know.
We're still not sure why.
Why are you? Why are you here?
Go home.
Who are you?
It's over.
It ended.
Hit the X right there. Or there, if you're a Mac or Windows. I don't know.
Or if you're in full screen, one of those bottom ones,
Yeah.
close that out,
Close
hit
that
escape.
Just get out of here. Go home.
The show ended, guys.
Credits are finished. Now the big subscribe button's popped up if you're on YouTube.
Hit it.
It's right there. Subscribe.
Hit that crap.
Jesus.
Stay classy.
They're still here.
Well, I stepped out.
You're fine. You're back in.
It's true.
It doesn't matter.
Why are you still here?